about maybe just before we went into the general conversations when everybody can talk. Very interesting and influential Italian gentleman came to ask if he'd come to see me. So I said sure, and he came to see me at the seminary, the American college where I was staying. We sat down. This is a very brilliant man, very influential man in Rome, and we talked about a number of things. But then he said, "What about Bergoglio?" And I was surprised at the question. I said, "What about him?" He said, "Does he have a chance?" I said, "I don't think so, because no one's mentioned his name. He hasn't been in anybody's mind. I don't think it's on anybody's mind to vote for him." He said, "He could do it, you know." I said, "What could he do?" He said, "He could reform the church." We gave him 5 years. He could put us back on target. The Lord, working through Bergoglio in 5 years, could make the church over again. I said, "That's an interesting thing." He said, "I know you're his friend." I said, I hope I am. He said, "Talk him up." Well, we'll see what happens, But that was the first that I heard that there were people who thought Bergoglio would be a possibility in this election. Then we had the general congregations. I spoke getting away from the poor, and to a certain extent, I'm afraid that that's very dangerous. I said, I hope that the one who is elected Pope will be someone who, if he is not himself a Latin American, will at least have a very strong interest in Latin America. Almost the last day, they called on Bergoglio, and he spoke for 4 minutes, period. And he spoke about the church on the periphery. That's the word he used, periferio in Spanish, because he spoke in Spanish. And he said, that's where the church has to be now. The church has to be where people are hurting, people are discriminated against, where people are very poor. And he went on for 4 minutes and stopped. And for the first time, there was a silence after he spoke, about 30 seconds, and nobody, Cardinal Sodano didn't say, "Thank you, Your Eminence, I now call on Cardinal so-and-so." It was just a pause there. There was a Italian newspaper who found out about this. That's why I can talk about it, and wrote in the paper, 4 minutes that changed the conclave. Was that part of it? Who knows? Was my friend who said, push Bergoglio, did he say it to a lot of people? I don't know.
Joe Biden, a fake Catholic, much like Pelosi and Kerry and others, who engage in abortion advocacy despite the fact that it directly contradicts the teaching of their faith. In fact, then Cardinal Ratzinger, who would later become Pope Benedict XVI, noted in a 2004 letter to then Cardinal Theodore McCarrick and then Bishop Wilton Gregory, who each lied about the contents of his letter to their brother bishops. The Church teaches that abortion or euthanasia is a grave sin. Ratzinger quoted from the encyclical letter Evangelium Vitae, which states, in the case of an intrinsically unjust law, such as a law permitting abortion or euthanasia, it is therefore never licit to obey it or to take part in a propaganda campaign in favor of such a law, or, are you listening, or vote for it. Therefore, in short, if such a fake Catholic politician still presents himself to receive the Holy Eucharist, the minister of Holy Communion must refuse to distribute it. Do you have that clear, dear family? Cardinal Ratzinger, future Pope Benedict XVI, the Vicar of Christ, said that the minister of Holy Communion must refuse it. And that is exactly what he put in writing to Theodore McCarrick, molester of boys and seminarians, protected for years by disgusting prelates, even